It was the angry humans who showed up to rescue Elias. Brooks stood on the bridge of the research ship Aurora, his hands gripping the railing. Outside the viewports, the stars stretched endlessly, bright and cold. For weeks, the small alien convoy had traveled quietly along the edge of disputed space. They were scientists, engineers, and surveyors, not soldiers. They had no reason to expect danger. "Captain, sensors are picking up an unknown fleet," Maya Cole said from her station. Her voice was calm, but the small tremor of worry reached Elias. "What do they look like?" Elias asked. "They're armed," Maya said, scrolling through the sensor readouts. "Weapons arrays are visible. No identification. They are moving fast and heading straight for us." Elias's stomach tightened. "How many ships?" "Too many to count," she said. "At least 20, possibly more. And they're coming in attack formation." He looked at the crew around him. Most of them were young researchers who had never faced danger. Engineers, medics, communications officers, and science teams moved quickly but nervously. Daniel Price, the young comms officer, kept checking the communications channels. "They're ignoring our hails," Daniel said. "I've sent warnings and requests for identification. No response." Elias took a deep breath. "This is not a drill. Everyone, get to your stations. We are going to do everything we can to survive." The first attack came without warning. Bright flashes of energy tore through space, striking 2 escort ships. The smaller vessels exploded instantly. Debris drifted past the Aurora, and alarms blared across the ship. "Hull breach in Section 3, a voice shouted over the intercom. "Pressure dropping!" Elias ran to the nearest control panel. "Seal the bulkheads!" "Keep the crew alive as long as you can." Maya's fingers flew across the console. "Engines are under fire." "We're losing power." Daniel called out. "They are locking onto the main ship. Shields are holding, but not for long." The crew of the Aurora worked frantically. Some of the alien researchers had never seen battle. Panic spread like wildfire. People ran from one station to another trying to help, but often causing confusion. Elias watched the enemy ships approach. They were fast and ruthless. In minutes, 2 more escorts were destroyed. The remaining ships tried to flee, but the attackers surrounded them. "Captain, they are preparing to board," Daniel shouted. "Weapons fire is decreasing near our hull. I think they want to get inside." Elias felt a cold fear. Boarding meant hand-to-hand fighting, something the scientists could not survive. "Prepare the emergency protocols," he said. "Evacuate civilians if we have time. Use escape pods only if necessary." Maya looked at him. "We are running out of time, Elias. We can't fight them off alone." "We do what we can," he said. His voice was firm, but inside he felt the panic too. Daniel's console beeped. He leaned closer. "We are sending distress signals to every fleet in range. Maybe someone will respond." Hours passed, and the Aurora drifted under constant attack. The enemy showed no mercy. Their weapons struck with precise accuracy. Lights flickered, corridors were damaged, and alarms never stopped. The alien crew tried to stay calm, but screams and cries echoed throughout the ship. "Still no response," Daniel said. "I've tried every major power. All they say is the zone is unstable. They won't help." Elias ran his hands through his hair. "We are on our own then. We have to survive." Suddenly, a new signal appeared on the communication screen. It was weak, but clear. Daniel leaned forward, eyes wide. "Captain, this is, I don't know. It's human. It's from a small fleet, but they are responding to our distress call." Elias frowned. "Humans? Are you sure?" Daniel nodded. "Yes. They just said, 'Hold position. Help is coming.' Humans are on the way." The bridge went silent. No one moved for a few seconds. Humans were legendary across the galaxy. Stories described them as unpredictable, dangerous, and often angry. Few had ever met them. Even fewer had lived to tell the story. Maya whispered, "Humans? Are they really going to help us?" Elias shook his head slowly. "If what I've heard is true, we are lucky. and scared at the same time. Outside, the enemy ships continued their assault. They were closing in for the final strike. Hull integrity warnings flashed in red. Lights flickered on and off, casting long shadows across the worried faces of the crew. One of the young engineers, Lyra, looked at Elias.
Captain,
Do humans really fight like the stories say? Elias swallowed hard. They fight when they have to. But more than that, they fight for others. They get angry when someone is hurt, and no one else acts. Maya and Daniel exchanged a look. Then, maybe we are about to see that, Maya said. The enemy began their boarding preparations. Small pods detached from the larger ships, heading toward the Aurora. The crew scrambled, sealing doors and preparing defensive systems. Then, the viewports lit up with sudden energy trails across space. Human ships dropped out of hyperspace, fast and sleek, dark-colored and heavily armored. They moved with purpose. Their weapons were ready, aimed directly at the attackers. Elias's jaw tightened. He had only seen human warships in history books, always described as deadly and unstoppable. Seeing them now in person moving into battle without hesitation made his stomach twist with a mixture of fear and hope. Daniel leaned over his console. They are moving straight toward the enemy. No warnings, no negotiations. Just attacking. Maya's eyes widened. Are they crazy? Elias shook his head. No. Humans are not crazy. They are focused, angry in a way that kills anyone who is in their way, but precise. The first shots from the humans hit the attackers' engines. Explosions lit up space as ships erupted into fireballs. The alien convoy watched in shock. The humans were not only fast but fearless. They were taking hits from the enemy, but they did not slow down. Every strike was calculated. Every movement was controlled. Captain, Daniel said quietly, I think they are saving us. They are protecting the Aurora. Elias felt a lump in his throat. He had always thought humans were unpredictable and dangerous. Now he saw another side. They were angry, yes, but their anger was directed at injustice, at cruelty, at people who could not protect themselves. And right now, that included the convoy he commanded. The attackers tried to regroup. They were confident that a small alien convoy would be easy to destroy. But now, with the humans in the fight, confidence turned to fear. Explosions ripped through their formation. Human ships moved quickly and efficiently, striking weak points first, avoiding unnecessary damage to the convoy. Elias watched as his crew started to calm slightly. Seeing humans fight gave them hope, a strange mix of fear and reassurance. Even the youngest researchers felt the courage to move and act. Captain, Maya said, they are amazing. I can't believe what I'm seeing. They are actually protecting us. Elias nodded slowly. This is why humans are called angry. They fight for themselves, yes, but also for anyone who cannot fight. That anger makes them unstoppable in ways most species cannot understand. Daniel's hand shook as he sent new distress signals, this time knowing that help was finally here. The humans were on their way, and the attackers were in trouble. The enemy realized too late that the humans were not just another fleet. They were fast, intelligent, and ruthless when protecting others. Ships that had thought they would have an easy victory now fled, trying to escape the deadly human force. Elias took a deep breath and looked at his crew. We are going to survive this. Humans are here. That is all that matters. Outside, the stars glowed cold and distant. Explosions from the battle lit up the darkness. The alien crew of the Aurora could only watch in awe as the humans, angry and relentless, tore through the attackers. For the first time since the attack began, hope returned. And it was terrifying. Brilliant hope. The human ships moved fast. They cut through space like shadows, dark and solid. Elias Brooks could not take his eyes off them. His crew on the Aurora had never seen anything like this. The humans did not hesitate. They went straight into the heart of the enemy fleet without slowing down. Captain, Daniel Price said, his voice shaking slightly. They are attacking directly. They don't even try to flank or communicate. Just straight in. Elias nodded. This is what humans do. They act first. They make decisions fast. Watch closely, Daniel. This is how they fight. The lead human ship fired first. Energy beam struck an enemy vessel in the engine section. The ship erupted in a flash of fire and debris. Smaller attack ships tried to move around, but the humans anticipated every move.
Maya Cole leaned over her console.
They are amazing. I've never seen tactics like this. They know exactly where to strike. Not tactics, Elias said quietly. Instinct. Humans fight with instinct when they are angry. They protect and they attack at the same time. Look how calm they are. They don't panic. Outside the Aurora, the enemy fleet tried to regroup. They had expected an easy fight. A few alien ships versus a research convoy should have been simple. Now, these human ships were changing everything. They struck with power and speed, and they seemed to know the weak points of every enemy ship.
Daniel, Elias said, try to record everything you see, every movement.
Every strike. This will help the other fleets understand humans if they survive. Daniel nodded, hands moving quickly over the console. He could hardly believe what he saw. The humans were taking hits, but they barely slowed. One of the human ships took a direct hit on the shield, and the hull shook violently, but it stayed in formation. "Captain!" Maya shouted. "Enemy boarding pods are launching. They are trying to get to us again." Elias moved to the tactical panel. "Hold your stations. We cannot let them board. Humans are already in combat. Let them clear the path." From the bridge, they watched the humans intercept the boarding pods. Fast fighters shot down the small ships before they reached the Aurora. Human Marines fired with precision, destroying pods in midair. Not a single alien pod reached the research ship. "Look at that," Daniel said. "They don't even hesitate. Every move is perfect," Maya nodded. "It's terrifying and brilliant at the same time." Elias took a deep breath. "Humans are dangerous to anyone who harms the weak. That's why they are called angry. That anger protects those who cannot protect themselves."
The enemy fleet was now in full panic.
Their ships were exploding one by one. The human vessels did not stop. They moved like shadows, striking and then retreating, forcing the attackers into chaos. On the bridge of the lead human ship, Commander Lucas Grant sat with his eyes fixed on the battle display. Every red dot on the map represented a threat. His tactical officer, Ava Turner, spoke quietly. "Sir, enemy reinforcements are jumping in. They will arrive in minutes." "The convoy is still under fire." Lucas did not blink. "Then we deal with them. Keep the shields ready. Focus on protecting the convoy. That is all that matters." Weapons Chief Logan Cruz adjusted targeting arrays. "Sir, some of our weapons are overheating. We can't keep firing at this rate for long." Lucas's voice was calm, almost cold. "Then we push harder. Someone has to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. That is our mission." Back on the Aurora, the alien crew watched in awe as the humans continued to fight. Every attack the enemy made was met with a precise counter. Hulls took damage, shields were strained, but the humans did not retreat. "Captain, they are taking our hits," Daniel said, pointing at the screen. "They are using themselves to protect us." Elias nodded. "Yes, that is what humans do. They put themselves in danger for others. They do not care for their own safety as much as for the lives of those they protect." The battle raged on. Explosions lit the darkness of space. The enemy tried to flee, but the humans were everywhere, fast and relentless. Every ship that thought it could escape found itself under fire. Inside the Aurora, Maya adjusted the ship's sensors to work with the humans. "Captain, if we link our sensors to their targeting systems, they could hit the enemies more accurately."
Elias agreed. "Do it."
"Help them. They are giving us a chance to survive. We must do everything we can to repay that." The human ships began to move in formation with the Aurora. They acted as shields, taking every hit first. Aliens fired from the research ship, helping when possible, but they relied entirely on the humans' courage. Lucas Grant spoke over the comms to his crew. Remember, we are here for the convoy. Keep your focus. Take no unnecessary risks. Protect them at all costs. Ava Turner nodded. Sir, some of our ships are damaged. We are losing shields on the starboard side. Lucas's voice was calm, firm. Stay in formation. That is your order. Protect the convoy. Nothing else matters. The aliens could not believe it. The humans were not panicked. They were angry, yes, but their anger was controlled. They were precise, deliberate, and deadly. Captain, Daniel whispered, I think the enemy knows now. They thought this would be easy. They were wrong. They are scared. Elias looked at the stars streaked with explosions. Yes. Humans are terrifying when they are angry. But their anger is not for themselves. It is for us and for anyone who cannot fight back. The attackers tried one more time to regroup and attack. This time, the humans were ready. They had predicted the moves, covering every angle. Explosions erupted across the enemy formation. Ships were destroyed before they could even fire.
Captain, look at that, Maya said. They are not just fighting.
They are controlling the battlefield. Elias nodded. That is what humans do. They do not just fight. They change everything around them. They fight for the weak, and that makes them unstoppable. The battle began to turn completely. The enemy started to retreat, some ships fleeing in panic. The humans did not chase them yet. Their focus remained on the Aurora and the other research ships. Every move was to protect the convoy first. Daniel, send another message to any remaining fleets, Elias said. Tell them humans are here. Tell them they cannot ignore the weak anymore. Daniel nodded, sending the message as fast as he could. The alien crew began to regain hope. They saw for the first time that survival was possible. Outside, space was lit with fire, energy beams, and exploding ships. The humans moved calmly through the chaos, shields flickering, weapons firing, yet every action measured and deliberate. Lyra, the young engineer, whispered, Captain, they are amazing. I have never seen anything like this. Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. You are seeing what humans are truly like. They are angry. Yes, but their anger is not for revenge. It is for protection. They fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. The Aurora crew continued to work with the humans, helping with sensors and minor weapons. They realized that without the humans, the fleet would have been destroyed completely. The enemy realized too late that humans were not just fighters. They were fearless, intelligent, and relentless. Ships that had been confident in victory now fled, many destroyed before they could escape. Elias watched the humans fight. He understood finally why stories of them were so terrifying. Humans did not stop. They did not hesitate. They did not retreat, and they were angry for a purpose. The alien crew began to whisper among themselves. We are lucky, one said. They are saving us. The humans, they fight for us. Elias nodded. Yes, that is what makes them dangerous to anyone who harms the weak. That is why humans are called angry. And that anger is why we are alive. The humans continued their assault, keeping the enemy off the convoy. The Aurora and the other research ships started to move more freely. They could repair minor damage and help their wounded. Outside, space was a storm of fire and energy, but the humans moved through it with purpose. The aliens could see the pattern now. Every strike, every movement, every decision was made to protect and save. Lucas Grant spoke to his crew again. Keep moving. Keep protecting. Focus on the convoy. That is all that matters. We do not stop until they are safe. Ava Turner nodded. Yes, sir. They are counting on us. We cannot fail. Logan Cruz adjusted the weapons. We are taking damage, but we can hold. Focus on defense and convoy protection. That is our priority. The aliens watched in awe. They had never seen anything like this. Humans were not just fighters. They were guardians, willing to risk everything to save others. Elias Brooks finally allowed himself a deep breath. For the first time since the attack began, he felt hope. The humans were here. They were angry, and that anger was exactly what the convoy needed. The battle continued, but the tide was turning. The enemy fleet was in chaos. Many ships were destroyed, and those that remained were confused and afraid. The humans had changed the battlefield completely. They were everywhere, moving fast, striking hard, and always protecting the convoy. Elias Brooks watched the screens. He could not believe what he saw. The humans were taking damage, yes, but they did not stop. They shielded the alien ships, moved ahead to intercept attacks, and never lost focus. "They are amazing," Maya Cole whispered. "I have never seen anything like this. They are not panicked at all." "No," Elias said quietly. "This is what humans do. They do not panic. They think clearly when others are in danger. That is their strength." Daniel Price, still at the communications console, looked nervous. "Captain." "Some of the human ships are badly damaged. One of them is losing shields. I think it will not survive another hit." Elias did not answer immediately. He was watching the humans' tactics. "They know what they are doing," he said finally. "Every move, every attack is calculated. They take hits only when necessary. They fight to protect, not for revenge or glory." The enemy tried again. This time, more ships jumped into the system. The humans did not retreat. They formed a defensive wall around the convoy, moving faster than the alien crew could follow. "They are protecting us," Maya said, her voice full of awe. "Even their damaged ships are still in the fight."
Yes, Elias said. They will not leave anyone behind.
"That is why humans are dangerous to anyone who attacks the weak. That is why they are called angry. Their anger is not for themselves. It is for others." Outside, explosions lit the dark space. Enemy ships were being destroyed one by one. The humans moved through the chaos like shadows, fast and precise. They did not hesitate. They did not panic. And they did not stop until the convoy was safe. Lucas Grant, the commander of the lead human ship, gave calm orders. "Keep formation. Keep shields up. Focus on the convoy. Take no unnecessary risks." Ava Turner, his tactical officer, nodded. "Sir, we are taking more damage. One of the ships has critical hull damage. We can hold, but only for a short time." Lucas did not flinch. "Hold steady. Protect the convoy. That is all that matters." Logan Cruz, the weapons chief, adjusted targeting systems.
Sir, our weapons are overheating. We cannot keep firing at this rate for long.
"Then push harder," Lucas said. "Someone must fight for those who cannot fight themselves. That is our mission. That is all that matters." Inside the Aurora, Elias and his crew began to understand. The humans were not just strong fighters. They were leaders. Their anger was controlled. They focused on protecting the weak, not on revenge or personal gain. "Captain," Daniel said, pointing at the screen, "look at their movement. They are predicting the enemy's every attack. They know where the boarding pods will come before they even launch." Elias nodded slowly. "That is instinct. Humans are dangerous when they are angry. But their anger is not blind. It is controlled. They protect first, attack second. That is why they are so effective." The aliens began to help. Maya linked the Aurora sensors with the humans' targeting systems. "Captain, if we give them our sensor data, they can hit the enemies more accurately." "Yes," Elias said. "Do it." Help them. They are saving us. Every little bit we do can make a difference. With the new data, the humans' attacks became even more precise. Enemy ships were destroyed before they could fire. Boarding pods were intercepted before they reached the convoy. The aliens watched in awe. "Captain," Lyra, a young engineer, whispered, They are protecting us. Even when they are hurt, they do not stop." "Why?" Elias looked at her. "Because they fight for those who cannot fight. That is what humans do. They get angry when someone is in danger, and they use that anger to protect. That is why they are unstoppable. The enemy fleet realized too late what they were facing. Ships that had thought the fight would be easy now fled in panic. Human ships chased some briefly but always returned to protect the convoy. They did not attack for revenge. They attacked only to stop the enemy from harming the weak. Daniel looked at Elias. "Captain, they are saving us. They are risking everything for us. Why would anyone do that?" Elias smiled faintly. "Because humans are angry at cruelty. They hate seeing the weak hurt. Their anger is like fire, but it burns for the right reason." The humans continued their battle. One of their ships was heavily damaged, but the crew stayed at their stations. Another ship lost part of its shield, yet it still moved forward, blocking an enemy attack. Every action was deliberate, precise, and fearless. Maya's fingers flew over the console.
Captain, the humans are amazing. They are not just fighting.
They are controlling the battlefield. They are keeping us alive and making the enemy run. "Yes," Elias said quietly. "That is why they are called angry. Their anger protects others. That is what we are witnessing. That is why we survive." The enemy tried one more time to regroup and attack. This time the humans were ready. They predicted the moves, covering every angle. Ships were destroyed before they could even fire. The battle was over before the attackers could strike again. Inside the Aurora, the alien crew began to breathe more easily. For the first time since the attack began, hope returned. They had seen humans fight, and they had seen what human anger could do. Lucas Grant spoke over comms. "All units, hold formation. Protect the convoy. Keep moving. Do not let anyone harm the ships under our care."
Ava Turner nodded. Yes, sir.
"All units hold formation. We will protect the convoy." Logan Cruz adjusted weapons. "We are damaged, but we can hold. Focus on defense and convoy protection. That is our priority." The aliens watched amazed. Humans were not just fighters. They were protectors. They risked everything for the lives of others. The young crew of the Aurora whispered among themselves. "They are incredible," Lyra said. "Yes," Elias said. "They are angry, but their anger is for us. That is why we survive. That is why humans are called dangerous." Outside, space was still filled with fire and explosions, but the humans moved through it calmly. They were like shadows, fast, precise, and deadly. The aliens could see the pattern. Every strike, every move, every decision was made to protect and save. Elias finally allowed himself a deep breath. For the first time, he felt hope. The humans were here. They were angry. And their anger was exactly what the convoy needed. Maya looked at Elias. "Captain, do you think they will stop fighting anytime soon?" Elias shook his head. "Not until the convoy is safe. And even then, they will not forget what they have seen here. Humans are like that. Their anger does not fade. It protects, it guides, it fights for those who cannot fight for themselves." Daniel nodded, eyes wide. "I think I understand now. The stories were true. Humans are dangerous, but they are also heroes." Yes, Daniel had died. From Alice smiled faintly. "Yes, Daniel. They are heroes. And that is why the galaxy has never seen anything like them before."
Outside, the humans formed a protective wall around the convoy. The enemy was in full retreat.
Ships exploded, energy beams faded, and silence slowly returned. The aliens had survived, and the humans had shown their full strength, their full courage, and their full controlled anger. The crew of the Aurora looked at the humans in awe. They had witnessed something they would never forget. Humans were not just fighters. They were protectors. Their anger was not chaos. It was a weapon used for the right reason. Elias finally allowed himself to speak to the bridge crew. "We are alive because humans showed up. We are alive because they fought. Remember this, everyone. Remember what you saw. Humans are called angry, but their anger saves lives."
The alien crew nodded, quietly taking in the lesson.
They had seen the humans fight. They had seen the controlled fury, the precision, the courage, and the protection. They understood why humans were both feared and respected across the galaxy. As the battle ended, the humans did not celebrate. They simply continued to move, protecting the convoy, tending to the wounded, and making sure every ship was safe. They did not seek glory. They did not seek reward. They only sought to protect those who could not protect themselves. Elias watched them one last time as they moved through space. He knew that the galaxy would never forget this day. The humans had shown up angry, and they had saved lives, and that was exactly what humans did best. The battle had finally slowed. The enemy fleet was scattered, their ships either destroyed or fleeing. Space was quiet except for the occasional drifting debris and the small fires of damaged vessels. The humans had not celebrated. They moved carefully through the wreckage, checking on the convoy and making sure every ship was safe.
Elias Brooks stood on the bridge of the Aurora, watching the humans in awe.
He had never seen anything like it. They had fought with anger, yes, but that anger was controlled, focused, and precise. It had saved lives. "Captain," Maya Cole said softly, "they are helping everyone, even the ships that are badly damaged. They are not leaving anyone behind." "Yes," Elias said, "that is what humans do. They fight for others. They protect the weak. Their anger is not for themselves. It is for everyone else." Daniel Price moved to a console, sending out distress signals to other fleets.
"Captain, I've never seen anything like this."
"The humans are taking care of everyone. We are not alone anymore." Outside the Aurora, the lead human ship moved slowly past the wreckage. Its hull was scarred, shields flickering. But the crew inside worked tirelessly. Lucas Grant, the commander, did not relax. He moved through the bridge with calm precision. Ava Turner, his tactical officer, reported quietly, "Sir, the convoy is intact. Most of the enemy ships are gone. We are clear, but our hull damage is serious. Shields are failing on 2 ships." Lucas nodded. "Continue to protect the convoy. That is the priority. We will manage the damage later. First, we save everyone we can." Logan Cruz, the weapons chief, checked his systems.
Sir, we can still hold our position. We can continue rescue operations.
"Weapons are stable for defense, but we cannot fight another fleet at full strength." Lucas's voice was calm, firm. "We do not need to fight another fleet. Right now, we fight to save lives. That is our mission. That is all that matters." Inside the Aurora, the alien crew worked with the humans. Maya and Daniel coordinated sensor data. Lyra, the young engineer, helped patch minor hull breaches with human drones.
Elias looked at them all.
"We are alive because of humans. Remember that. They came angry, yes, but their anger saved us." The humans moved carefully through the convoy. One of the smaller research ships had lost its engines. Human drones attached to the hull, stabilizing it and patching leaks. Crew members were injured, and the humans moved quickly to bring them aboard their medical bays. Elias could hear the hum of medbots working, assisted by human engineers. The wounded aliens were given food, water, and medical attention. No one was left behind. Daniel whispered, "Captain, they do not stop. Even when their own ships are damaged, they keep helping everyone else."
Elias nodded. "Yes."
"That is why they are called angry. That anger is not for themselves. It is for us, for those who cannot fight. That is what makes humans unstoppable." Lyra looked at the human ships. "Captain, they are amazing. Even when they are hurt, they do not leave anyone. They protect everyone." "Yes," Elias said. "That is why we survived. That is why humans are dangerous to those who harm the weak. Their anger is a weapon, but it is used for the right reason." Outside, space was calm again. The enemy had fled. Human ships moved slowly, covering the convoy as they repaired damage. Drones floated in the void, repairing hulls and fixing systems. The aliens watched, amazed. Lucas Grant spoke to his crew. "Keep moving. Keep protecting. Check every ship for damage. Make sure no one is left behind." That is our duty, Ava Turner nodded. Yes, sir, every ship will be checked. All injured will be rescued. Logan Cruz added, We are damaged, but we can still help. Weapons are stable enough to defend the convoy if needed.
The alien crew began to understand fully. Humans were not reckless fighters.
They were careful, precise, and courageous. Their anger was controlled, used to protect others, not for revenge or glory.
Elias turned to Maya and Daniel. Do you see now?
This is why the galaxy fears humans. Not because they want war, but because their anger is unstoppable when protecting the weak. Daniel nodded slowly. Yes, Captain, I understand now. They fight for others. That is why they came. That is why we survived. Maya looked at the convoy outside. They are even helping the injured ships. They are not just fighting. They are rescuing everyone.
Yes, Elias said.
That is humans. They fight to save lives.
That is why they are called angry, and that is why they are heroes. The human ships moved among the convoy, making sure every ship was safe. Injured aliens were brought aboard medical bays. Hull breaches were patched. Systems were restarted. Even the smallest, slowest ship was stabilized. Elias walked among his crew. Remember this moment. Remember what you saw. Humans are called angry, but their anger saves lives. They are not reckless. They are guardians, Daniel added. Captain, they could have left us. They could have let the enemy destroy us, but they did not.
They came for us, and they stayed until we were safe.
Elias nodded. That is humans. They fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. Their anger is not random. It is focused, controlled, and deadly when it needs to be.
Outside, Lucas Grant moved his ships carefully through the convoy.
He oversaw repairs, guided drones, and ensured that every alien ship was safe. Ava Turner and Logan Cruz assisted him, coordinating with the convoy crew. The aliens whispered among themselves. We are lucky. The humans, they are saving us. Even when they are hurt, they do not stop.
Elias smiled faintly.
Yes, they are angry. But their anger protects us. That is why we survived. That is why humans are heroes. The human ships finished their rescue operations. Drones returned to the ships. Crew members checked the hulls and systems. Injured aliens were stable. The convoy could now move on safely. Lucas Grant spoke to his crew. We have done our duty. The convoy is safe. All injured are rescued. We move out, maintain formation, and be ready if the enemy returns.
Ava Turner nodded. Yes, sir.
All units in position. Logan Cruz added, Weapons are ready, hulls are stable. Shields are at 60%, but we can hold until repairs are complete. The alien crew began to cheer softly. They had survived. They had seen humans fight, and they had seen humans rescue lives, even when it was dangerous. Elias Brooks finally addressed his crew. Remember this day? Remember the humans. They came angry, and they saved lives. They risked everything for us. That is why they are feared and respected. That is why they are heroes. Maya Cole looked at the humans one last time. I understand now. Their anger is not chaos. It is control. It is protection. It is courage. Daniel Price nodded slowly. I will never forget this. They fought for us. They protected us. That is humans. Lyra, the young engineer whispered, Captain, I want to meet more humans one day. They are amazing. Elias smiled. One day you will, and you will understand even more. Humans are not just fighters. They are guardians. Their anger saves lives. That is what we saw today. Outside, the stars were calm again. The convoy moved slowly through space, escorted by the damaged but still strong human ships. The battle was over. The enemy was gone. The humans had shown their full power, their full courage, and their full controlled anger. Elias looked at the human ships one last time. They had come angry, but their anger had saved lives. They had protected the weak. They had fought with courage, skill, and precision. He knew that the galaxy would never forget this day. The humans had shown what it meant to be truly angry, and that anger could be used to protect and save, not destroy. The convoy moved on, escorted by the humans. Repairs would come later. Rest would come later. But the lesson was clear. Humans were dangerous, yes, but their danger was a gift to those who could not protect themselves. Elias Brooks stood quietly on the bridge. He would never forget the humans, their anger, and the courage that had saved everyone. And the galaxy had learned something new. Humans were angry, and their anger could save the weak.